Black Giraffe made this.
Like Kodak Black coming on and like the entire song sounds like he's rapping over around a mouth of marbles or something. It just like it really kills it for me. Like it's not to the point where like I don't understand what he's saying, but it's just like it's just like bro, just like I don't know, hawk up the loogie, whatever you got in your mouth, just like cough a couple times. I don't know what it is, but like for me personally, I appreciate being able to like actually understand clearly. Welcome back to Playlist, where we help you discover music you can feel. I am one of your hosts, Brandon Lee.
And I am Terry Yo.
Yeah, and speaking of discovering music you can feel, today's topic is all about discovery with a playlist curated by my good friend and fan of the pod, Jamie.
Woo woo, Jamie!
Yes, sir. He came in clutch this week. We asked him to create a playlist with not really any set theme or goal in mind, just music that he likes and that he wanted to share. And man, did he deliver.
Yes, he did.
There are some absolute bangers on this playlist today, with several songs being unheard of by definitely us, and I'm sure many of you as well. So we really hope this playlist was full of new sounds for you and that you felt the vibe that he was trying to achieve in all of the tracks today. And of course, we're going to be referring to the songs from the playlist throughout this episode. So if you haven't already listened to the songs that we're about to discuss, we do have direct links to the music playlist in the description, aka the show notes. And that's there for your listening pleasures. So go check that out. Definitely worth. Do it right now if you haven't.
Yeah.
And, right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really encourage you to definitely check out these song titles and these artists, because a lot of it you probably won't even know or even understand because the language barrier within it.
Yes.
But before we dive into the episode, of course, we have our customary at the playlist disclaimers. Number one, we respect everyone's opinion, regardless of how wrong or awful Jamie may be. Number two, make sure you have your passport ready while listening to this playlist, because Jamie took us all the way around the world, and then some. So, you may be inspired to travel after listening to some of these songs. And lastly, we're just talking about the music, not the artist's real life or cancelable issues, especially since we have no idea who these people are for the most part. So on that note, was your listening experience, did anything taint your listening experience this week going through this playlist?
Definitely nothing has tainted it. Just in general, over the last several months, I have been kind of listening to music that is like not necessarily in my language. So I feel like that did kind of tee me up to be more open-minded, which I don't think I was ever like closed-minded per se in that regard, but just like, I don't know, just made me a little bit more comfortable. Also things like our Emma piano playlist we had way back when and stuff like that, just kind of geared me to more readily just accept and just like go with the flow on these songs that were 100% not in English that I didn't understand.
For sure.
What about yourself?
Very similar to that. I was definitely more for the vibe. However, as we've said many times before, this is what episode 73. Going into this playlist now, my brain has become more fine-tuned into listening to the lyrics. And it's great when you can understand the lyrics, but it's also kind of like, I like the vibe, but I have no idea what we're talking about right now. So, but then my curiosity kind of wants to go down that rabbit hole of like, oh yeah, well, let me try to figure out what the actual true intent of what the song is supposed to be about and blah, 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 blah. And then I'm just like, oh, this is not only the language barrier, but then the translation of it all, and then also trying to understand the context of what they're talking about. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I just have to kind of just like, just let it be and just kind of just let it ride.
It is funny whenever because I did do that for the songs that are not in English on this playlist, where I like looked up what the English translation was, but oftentimes it's just like a straight translation, right? So it's like you definitely lose out on, like you said, some of the
I said context, but I'm of course I
cultural. That's the word I was looking for. Some of the cultural context, yes,
yeah.
But then also just like in English, a lot of times whenever you're like reading it's translated straight to English, it just like does not like roll off, like it doesn't sound as good. Like,
it doesn't. It doesn't.
They chose the words to be more lyrical and whatnot, and have rhyme scheme and stuff like that. in their own language. So you definitely you miss out on that too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still, some of the topics was interesting, and we'll definitely get more into that. But I guess if before we get started, if you're enjoying the podcast, please be sure to give us a like and subscribe to the podcast. So you can do that on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Audible, Pocket Casts, wherever it is that you listen to us. We are there, and you can support us most easily and freely by just liking and subscribing. Drop a comment or two if you feel so obliged, but not necessary. That is the easiest way to share and support the show. And so, yeah, without further ado, let's get discovering.
Yes, sir. So let me ask the question that I and many of our listeners probably are wondering as well. Who the hell is Jamie?
So Jamie is one of my best friends, one of my very best friends. Known each other since high school. I've stayed friends pretty much since then. So well over, getting close to like 15 years now.
Okay.
Actually, I think over 15 years now. I think about it. Jamie, so he's definitely, he's the same age as I am. Him and me have kind of similar to you. Like there was a few years there where we weren't talking, just like having conversations on a daily basis, but we have kind of always stayed in touch through music in some regard, and we share different tracks. I think he has a very similar taste in music to both of us in a lot of ways. He likes a lot of like R&B, hip hop beat, kind of down tempo, chill type music in general. Very open to the idea of like new sounds, and that like kind of gets him excited. But yeah, definitely, a lot of the songs, a lot of the artists from the playlist are also like in the same like mid to late 20s, early 30s age range. Roughly, there's a few outliers, but that was just something I kind of noticed. I don't know. It's just something I thought was kind of interesting that the music also kind of lined up with his and I like age range.
I can see that.
So, talking about the different language and everything, it's kind of funny because he also does not really speak Spanish or Russian for that matter.
Okay.
And whenever I asked him about that, he literally said, I know very, very little Spanish, but the songs are just so great at expressing a vibe, which I agree with after listening to the playlist several times. So again, like he definitely just chose pretty much the whole playlist basically on just vibes alone, coupled with the idea of like vibes, but like vibes and songs that people may not be as familiar with. So like, a few deep cuts. There's a handful of songs that are definitely like bigger semi hits, I guess you could say. But in general, he was just going for a certain, I think, chill vibe, but then coupled with the idea of like, what's a song or what's some songs that most American audience listeners at least would not be super familiar with.
Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, all right. Well, that answers my one question, because I was curious as far as like a lot of the Spanish songs, if he had like an affinity towards that culture or if he was part of that culture or not.
I mean, he is with a Mexican lady, but I don't think even his girlfriend speaks like much Spanish, like on a daily basis. So it's not like he's like constantly around Spanish, as far as I know. But yeah, I guess just he's always kind of had an affinity for like even like I remember back in high school, like he was friends with a lot of like the Hispanic kids that would like speak a lot of Spanish, and he'd hang out with them and stuff. So I think he's just always kind of had an affinity towards that, and so he's just like more open to listening to music in that vein.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. So for me going into this playlist, I'll just go right out the gate. There's probably maybe I would say maybe like 3 artists on the playlist overall that I kind of had an idea or who they were, or I may have had like a song or two by them saved in my own personal collection. But the songs themselves, like I've heard none of these songs at all. So every last one of these songs were new to me. Well, okay, one of them technically is kind of a remake or cover or sample, the 7 Years song or whatever. So, but I wasn't familiar with this remix of that
And
set song.
it is a yeah. I was also super familiar with the original 7 Years, but the remake with all new lyrics and everything and a new kind of perspective on that was definitely new to me as well.
Yep. So, but everybody else is like I said, like I was familiar with Illenium because I feel like we had him on the playlist at some point or another.
I've had him once or twice for sure.
And then of course, Tommy Richman. We'll get into that a little bit later because I have thoughts. And I felt like I had Ozuna. No, it wasn't Ozuna. I had Getter. So I have a song by Getter called Head Splitter, which is like a heavy EDM kind of like oomsy kind of song or whatever. So I have that on one of my personal playlists that I play from time to time to get me amped up.
And I know you're familiar with Joji.
No, not at all.
You don't know Joji?
Mm-mm.
I feel like you featured a Joji song on a playlist way back when.
No. I had a JoJo, but not a Joji. So I had JoJo and Chica, that one song called Sabotage, but not Joji.
I guess JoJo I was mistaken in that.
Yeah. JoJo is like this, R&B chick.
Yeah. No, I remember JoJo. I for some reason I thought there was a Joji song you had put at some point.
No, unless you merge in JoJo and Jodeci and Joji like all together. No. Some weird amalgamation.
Well, okay, so I knew Joji, I knew Illenium like you did. I mean, I guess kind of it's relatively new, but like we had the song by Maphra, Doomed, I'd sent to you a couple weeks back. So technically before this playlist, was made, you and me were familiar with that. But that song was actually Jamie's the one who like sent me that song originally. And whenever I was asking, he was like, we're finalizing this playlist. Is there any last minute additions? He was like, can I please put Doomed on there? And I was like, okay, we were kind of planning on I think we're going to use that for another playlist down the line, but it's relatively new and you are the one who sent it to me. So, okay, I guess that's only fair that we put it on your playlist.
Yes.
But outside of that,
well, before you go on,
was the only one I knew.
Okay. Speaking of Maphra, I just want to kind of acknowledge at the time of recording this, there's like a weird issue with Apple Music in that song. So it's not on the Apple Music version of the playlist. It's on the YouTube version and on the Spotify version, but she put out a message on her socials. It was like, yeah, I'm not sure what's happening, but Apple Music and I believe even Amazon Music like removed the song for some reason. So
it could be because it's technically a cover.
I mean, there's so many covers out there now. Like,
I know.
I don't understand. So
that's just the only thing I could think of that would be causing problems.
Yeah. So hopefully, if you listen to this episode down the line, the issue has been resolved and it should be featured on the Apple playlist. But if you are listening on Apple Music, just wanted to give y'all a heads up. That's why it's not featured on that. Okay, but Carpetman. But yeah, you were saying about Carpetman?
Carpetman was another Jamie suggested, like he sent me a Carpetman song. It might have even been Feel So Cold. I don't remember because I've listened to several of his songs now by this point. But like a year or so ago, he had sent me a Carpetman song. It was like, I think you would really like this guy. And all of his music is very vibey and chill. So I was familiar with him too. So yeah, similar to you, just like literally 2 or 3, I guess about 3 artists on here I was familiar with, and literally everyone else. Like I know the name Kodak Black, but I never really listened to any of his music ever again. Or ever before.
Yeah.
Which, okay, let's go ahead and just start with that one because I'll come out the gate and I'm pretty sure Jamie already knows how I feel about Kodak Black because like he's tried to get me to listen to him before and I've just listened to like snippets and been like, I can't do it. And this was like the only song on the playlist that I regularly skipped.
Fair enough. Well, okay, so for me, when I heard the song, and I was like, okay. I heard the producer tag, Buddah Blesses Beat, which, I'm familiar with that tag, because he does a lot of production. And then I started hearing the rap. And I was like, who the hell is this? And I really didn't look at the playlist all the way because it's like Buddah Bless and Kodak Black. So usually, Buddah just does production and not really does his own, releases his own singles as far as I can tell. So I was like, at first I was like, Buddah is garbage as far as like an MC. But I realized that was a producer, and then Kodak Black was on there. And okay, so here's how I feel about Kodak Black and the Lil Yachty's and all of them peoples. To be fair, I'm 40 years old, so I'm definitely out of that demographic. However, my coworkers and some of the other people that I've friends with outside of the podcast and stuff have somewhat kind of beaten me down to a pulp to where I've kind of started to not necessarily like, but I can appreciate the, the later versions of rap that's out now. Like I come from the era where a rap song was minimum 4 minutes long, and the new generation rap songs are like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So
Yeah.
that's like if you can understand where my headspace goes when it comes to lyrics and a song structure, that's where where I I fall into it. I like the beat. Kodak did what he's fine on a song. His performance, his delivery was okay. Me personally, I just okay. I get it's the subject matter of the song to me. It's kind of like why
It's okay. Yeah, that's another thing. That's a whole other separate thing for me. It's like the subject matter is like, okay, your girl owes you some head and you wanted to make an entire song about it. Like, okay. I feel like if I was still in high school, I might have liked this song like a lot more.
Okay,
Maybe.
okay. I mean, touche. And I'm literally having an epiphany right now, so I'm going to go ahead and call myself out. I'm about to self-own myself. I totally forgot that Nas had a song back in the day featuring Genuine called "You Owe Me," and it's pretty much the same concept, except for it doesn't explicitly say it. It just says, the whole song is like, "Hey, I'm gonna let you borrow my chain, so now you owe me," kind of deal. Or I took you out. Guess what? Now you owe me something, and something is obviously implied. But now the censorship. Everybody didn't, there's no innuendo. So it's just like, hey.
No, everyone just comes out and says it.
Which come on out and say it. So
for me, I like the act of reading between the lines for me personally is like a big part of the art. So like whenever you're just coming out and you're just explicitly saying it with no like innuendo or no double entendres or anything, it kind of loses a little bit of the artistry. But
exactly,
again, I don't think I'm like necessarily like a huge part of the target demographic. I do understand Kodak Black is like apparently super mega popular here. He's one of the most popular like modern recent year MCs to come out.
I mean, sure, I guess. I mean, with a certain demographic, and like I said, my coworkers, I have one coworker specifically, like she's like absolutely obsessed with this man, and I happened to Google what he, seeing him online. I was like, ugh, okay, this is a virus in my computer. Oh no, that's Kodak Black. So it was just one of those things where I was like, okay, this ain't for me at all. So I mean, I'm trying to be as impartial and not be an old man, shaking my cane at the new generation, but it's just it ain't.
I'm right there with you trying, but like okay, you mentioned Nas having a similar song we're making the day, but like let's like compare the two. And this song, I guess this is something I've kind of like subconsciously known about myself for a long time now, but this just really like highlighted it and just really brought it to the forefront of my mind that like for me a big part of like a lot of my favorite rap artists are the fact it's like the clearness of the enunciation. And whenever you got someone like Kodak Black coming on and like the entire song sounds like he's rapping over around a mouth of marbles or something, it just like it really kills it for me. Like it's not to the point where like I don't understand what he's saying, but it's just like bro, just like I don't know, hawk up the loogie, whatever you got in your mouth, just like cough a couple times. I don't know what it is, but like for me personally, I appreciate being able to like actually understand clearly. Like even if it's like going fast or whatnot, like all of my favorite rappers are definitely like clearly enunciating everything they're saying, and that's a big part of it for me personally. But I guess I can understand. I mean, it is vibey still, and he does have like I guess some clever wordplay here and there, and it's like it's not bad. Like I don't want to like completely hate on it. It's just not for me. I feel like at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree, and definitely when it comes to like I don't know, I also I'm with you 100% on the clarity. Like I do miss pronunciation and enunciation, and this is coming from me, a person who can't speak or read. So either way, I prefer that, especially when it comes to my MCs. But I'll also understand it's a different generation and different cadence and all that stuff. I'm not a big fan of mumble rap or the later version of mumble rap. I just need you to because a lot of times people just making noises. They're not even like making words anymore. So, but to me, just overall, like that's not like my top complaint about the song. To me, it's just like, I miss the innuendo. I miss the wordplay. I miss the cleverness.
Same.
It's just,
that definitely too for me.
I mean, like there's a, there's a popular reel or TikTok thing going around right now where people talk about music these days and it just goes pussy, drugs, weed, robbery, pussy, drugs, weed, robbery, dick, and like that's just be like the whole song. And like somebody just made a beat off of that. I'm butchering it, but like we know what I'm talking
about. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but I 100% agree, and can like literally hear what you just said being turned into a song and being like super popular.
1000%. So I'm just like, okay, y'all, like that's I mean, I'm definitely not like squeaky clean by no means, but after a while, listening to music, sometimes like, okay, like it actually gotten so bad. I'm going on a tangent. We'll get back to Jamie's playlist in a second. But it's gotten so bad that like even at work now, like usually they'll say I'm the DJ person or whatever. I'm blasting my music, whatever else. I try to cater to everybody who wants to listen to that kind of ratchet music every now and then. Okay, cool, whatever. It's a safe space. I'm not here to judge. But it got to the point where I need a personal palate cleanse. I just stopped listening to music with lyrics at all. Like I just put on a lo-fi mix and I go on YouTube and I find a 8-hour lo-fi mix and I'm listening to that for 8 hours for my entire shift because I just can't. Like I'm listening to jazz, I'm listening to instrumentals, I'm listening to orchestras. I just can't deal with the stupid ass lyrics no more. Or the people on the microphone going, I'm like, what are we talking about right now? It's so annoying.
Nothing. It's talking about nothing. Yeah, that's
literal gibberish.
Again, we're definitely like not the target demographic for a lot of that, but it's just it's also just like it's hard to be impartial to that just because it does feel like less artistic to me. Like it feels like less craft is put into it whenever it's just that, right?
1000%. And moving on to something else that I know was with the overall playlist in general. And just going to call this out as a blanket statement for just the state of the popular music genre as of 2026. Hip hop is here to stay. We get that. But 100%. now trap music, what they call trap music now with the 808s and the hi-hats, that has officially transcended every single genre. Like
it's country music
country music got trap drums in it now. And so much so that even this Russian artist has like a typical trap sound beat over this song. And I'm just like, what? Okay. And so again, because I'm the old head on the podcast, I'm just like, okay, I appreciate how far it's come, but at the same time, I do miss, so to speak, when people kind of had their own kind of thing. Now it's kind of feels like everything is kind of like not homogenous, but I don't know. The variety is still there, but it's just, I'm starting to notice a lot of people using the same ingredients over and over and over. And I'm like, okay, can we, I don't know. I don't want to say, what's not overdose on it, but like when you use something way too much, saturated, there we go. It's like saturated, like all the music, like everything is affected. Like even our previous playlist, previous episode with Levi Sect or whatever, I appreciate it because it was like a strong disposition, but however his classical like piano playing ability like superseded like the 808 too. So it was more like a supplemental thing because that wasn't the main forefront.
But it still had it.
It still had it, and that's the point I'm making. It still has it. So even like how do you pronounce it? I keep wanting to say echo, but I was like, is it Xcho or Xcho or?
I've been saying psycho, but I have no idea. It could be supposed to be echo. Don't even begin to ask me how to say the song title because that's not going to happen. It's a bunch of Russian letters that I don't even know how to begin to pronounce. And it was also a bitch and a half just to get this song on the playlist. Like, because he just sent me like he sent me like he shared his playlist with me that he made, right? So then I had to like copy it over. But I was like, how am I supposed to find this song? I don't have a Russian keyboard. I can't type these letters in. Which I guess as I'm saying that now, I could have downloaded a Russian keyboard maybe, but even then still, it took me several minutes. That's what I was thinking. It took me several minutes, both for Spotify when I was making the Spotify, and then again when I was making it on YouTube. I was like, dang, and I can't just like, you can't just copy the song title because if you like go to share a song, it just has like the link to the song. Do you say it doesn't have like the song like listed anywhere? I'm like, I just want to copy the song title, but I can't.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, luckily, like I was on my desktop. That's the only way I was able to kind of somewhat manipulate it and find it. So,
that's probably what I should have done. That would have been a lot smarter. I was doing it on my phone.
Yeah. Look, if I would have done it on my phone, I would have thrown my phone across the room. But
I almost did.
That poor phone. So my curiosity got the best out of me with this song. So definitely not a 1-to-1 direct translation of like the song or the overall synopsis of the song, but the song itself is called Sketches. So that's what the English translation of whatever that Russian.
Okay.
So the song is called Sketches, and the song is basically talking about how it's like a nostalgia kind of song, about this girl that like they don't see each other that often, so he has like sketches of like memories, and like he draws like little pictures and stuff to remind him of her and thinking of her handwriting and all that stuff and her beauty and all these different things. So it's like a song about I guess misconnection or longing for your significant other or whatever. So I was like, okay, that's beautiful. And then you listen to the beat, and it's like, oh, this is like really hardcore for for this kind of song. So it was just like, so it was like, and that's where like the nuance is kind of missing. We just like read the lyrics. Like I think the chorus says, "I was sketching. Do you remember my handwriting? Well, I was guessing. You replaced the nights. The world forgot. The world forgot from pain what simplicity is. I did not die. Your beauty saved me. I was sketching you. Do you remember? It's kind of like that's the English version of it, but of course it don't hit as hard as the Russian, version of it. So I was like, okay, that's sweet. And I was gonna go through some other songs, but I was like, okay, this is a lot of homework. But I just wanted to kind of just throw that out there out the gate. Like this is a Russian song using trap beats, but conveying something beautiful. And that made me appreciate the song a little bit more. But I still kind of had it in the back of my head, like, okay, I really wish we could throw like a little Vitas, in there. You know what I mean? Or something in there to make it more
still
authentic.
Brings that up for me like every now and again since I showed her that way back when. Like literally just last week, she asked me about that. That's funny.
That's awesome. Forever Vitas.
I mean, I will say, like, again, he was definitely like vibe focused in making this playlist, and I feel like he definitely like kind of much like you often do. He kind of came out strong with that intention and kind of setting the tone for the rest of the playlist with this song. I thought.
Yeah, I agree.
It's super vibey. Like all of the entire playlist is super vibey. Like so that's one thing I just kept like saying to myself over and over again, whether I understood the words or not, like whether I liked the words or not. It's like, oh, this is vibey.
I get it. Yeah, I agree. I just wanted to point out that the vibe was still more trap hip hop centric, even though we're literally going all over the world, with these artists and different songs. Like we got, people from, Ukraine, we got Russia represented, we got Puerto Rico represented, we got Cali represented, we got Argentina represented. For such diversity, in a way, I'm looking at it from both sides, and it just might be in a weird mood for today, but I appreciate how small the world has become, and things are kind of becoming homogenous, and you kind of can flow together and operate between genres and stuff, which is great. But at the same time, I do miss what makes like this sound, that sound, and you still can work together without losing that essence of it. And I feel like a lot of these songs, the vibe is consistent throughout because they're all using a lot of the same elements, regardless of what country or whatever they're from, which is a good thing. But also, I miss them kind of, everybody kind of having their own vibe to bring to the table. It's like Thanksgiving dinner that everybody brings like a different type of like chicken. It's barbecue chicken, fried chicken, Korean fried chicken. Okay, it's still chicken at the end of the day. Like somebody brings some beef, somebody brings some turkey.
I definitely agree with what you're saying. However, I guess the counterpoint to that is like, as someone who is, from Jamie's perspective, right? As someone who's kind of a more casual listener, there's a reason that all of his songs kind of have that in it, and I think this, it's super popular, and a lot of people they like the vibe that those ingredients in a song like kind of invoke, right? So I guess. Yeah. Like I 100% agree with you. I love variety. Music gumbo is what we're all about here. Bringing different, new, unique, weird sounds together and making it work. So it does kind of get tiring hearing the same, like you said, the same trap beats, same trap style beats over and over and over and over and over and over and over. But it's mega super popular right now. So like I kind of understand why. Like if you're wanting to break through all the noise that is music nowadays, like why you might choose to do that. like on the one hand, I don't want to like knock an artist who's choosing to do that because it is vibey and it does sound good, even if it is like kind of overdone. But yeah, I definitely, I don't know.
Yeah,
it just kind of puts
agree.
you've got me in kind of a weird introspective mood now. Where it's like, it's so vibey, but man, like I just want more variety.
Okay, so do we want to get into like some of our highlights real quick? Just to kind of get it more positive. Again, Jamie, I appreciate the playlist. I like it. I just had just an overall criticism, just overall with the music industry. I'm not criticizing, your taste in music.
Well, I guess I already kind of hit my one low light was Oh Me, Buddah Blessed and Kodak Black. So I guess let's just go ahead and get the negatives out of the way. If you have any other songs that you like didn't vibe with, let's go ahead and just kind of
okay.
briefly gloss over that.
Yeah. So Tommy Richman. Okay, so here's the thing about this particular artist. He perplexes me. So he has that, he's mostly known for that mega super popular hit, $1 Million Baby or whatever. I think it's called. So that song came out as a single. Then he dropped the album and did not include the single on that album. Purposely. Weird choice. Okay, whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give him a chance. I listened to the album. And I was thinking like maybe it was like a 10-song album, which in today's music scape, that's 10 minutes worth of music. Yes, forever. It's like a whole 10 minutes worth of music. 1 minute per song. And I was like, what? I mean, like, okay, so I appreciate the indiness of it and like you don't need to have everything super polished, for me as an artist or just me listening to it. I appreciate that. But he put that album out and I was severely disappointed. And since then, like I've been kind of jaded because you come out with like a crazy hit like $1 Million Baby with the beat. The beat's like, okay, we're hitting, we're thumping with that. We're going with it. Then you add the layer and the harmonies. Okay, that's cool. And then you come out here and you not really singing, and he's not the greatest singer. I wasn't expecting like, Luther Vandross or even Chris Brown level singing, but like don't be actively dodging like the notes or whatever. Like what's happening? So I'm just like, okay, so I was upset with that. Now, this song Last Night, I think this predates $1 Million Baby, right? I think. So
I'm not even familiar with the song you're talking about, but this song came out in 2023. So
okay, 2023.
Maybe.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. Well, you know $1 Million Baby when you hear that song. Like when you hear the first 5 seconds of the song, I guarantee you recognize it.
Pause. Let me, because it is his like most popular, like over 5.5 million, or sorry, 500.5. It's up to 562 million views on YouTube alone. Let me give it a quick listen here just to see if I do know it.
I give you the first 5 seconds.
Okay, yeah, I remember this song.
There you go. So that song was everywhere. That song was hitting you everywhere. So you come up with a song like that, and then I'm like, okay, cool. You set the bar here. All right, let's go from there. And then the album after this song, mega hit, it just was not like even in that short clip that you heard just then, you can hear like the range, the harmonies, the layering. He took the time and effort with that. The album, he got some songs on there. I'm just like, who?
Which that did come out 2024. So this song on the playlist Last Night does predate that song.
Yeah. So and that's where, again, that's why he perplexes me. Because this Last Night song I'm okay with. And I saw that it came out before $1 Million Baby. So like, okay, so when you are hungry and trying to get into the game, you put the effort in, you get some success, then you put out some ass. And I'm just like, come on, dude. Like, no, don't do that. So that's why I say he perplexes me. And then when he collaborates with other people, like he collaborates with another artist that got featured on another artist song right here, Brent Faiyaz or whatever. Like they've collaborated on a couple songs that I'm like, okay, like y'all sound good together. Like, okay, I can see the energy here. I see the vibe here, the camaraderie. Like, okay, let's keep this energy going. And then you drop that album that was just like. So that's my overall critique of that. But yeah, Last Night I like that song because again, you put the effort in. You get he puts more effort into the song, even though it's short as hell. But it's still like you put the effort into the song. But
that song was good to me, but it was like a 7 out of 10. Like it was just Like it was
okay.
It was good. I had no complaints about it, but it also like wasn't a standout necessarily for me on this playlist.
For sure. Yeah. Compared to this playlist, absolutely.
I wasn't really familiar with the artist, or I guess I'd maybe heard the $1 Million Baby song like just in passing, like you said, because it was so popular.
Yes.
Maybe it played it like, I don't know, a bar or restaurant or something I'd been at here and there.
1000%. Let me try to find that. Yeah, it's called Worlds Apart. What is that one? There's one song on that album that just really I was like, what's happening? Okay, all right. I'm gonna give you an example. Find a song by Tommy Richman called "Amen." But yeah, what's on your mind? There we go. Play that one instead.
Is that from the Worlds Apart album?
Yeah. This is an album that came out after $1 Million Baby that he decided to not put $1 Million Baby on.
Okay, let me play this for a second. Like the beat's not bad. It's a little simple, but like a talented MC could have like actually like really slayed on that. I feel like, which I mean, I guess to be fair, a talented MC could slay on any beat. It's kind of the mark of a talented MC. But like this definitely ain't it.
Thank you. That's what I was saying. I was like, what? Why? What? And like, and then even the background, you layering, but even then, you just like, what? Like
that sounded very amateur.
It sounded very JJ Icefish, and that's the part that really pissed me off. Because I'm like, how you come out with?
I can't possibly say it's that bad, but it
was heading.
It's closer to. It's heading in that direction. I'll give you that.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. I won't say JJ Icefish. Like that might be bad. It's more.
It's JJ Icefish. It's like almost about as low as you can go. I feel like, to me, that's such a terrible level quality of singing.
Okay. Well, okay.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad though.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. Like, I mean, I think Tay Allen probably could do a little bit better, but that's a whole other thing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have a mass text together.
What's your zodiac?
Probably tell her. I would love to tell her.
Oh God. But yeah.
Did you have any besides being perplexed by Tommy Richman? Did you have any songs that just like you didn't really vibe with at all, or?
Oh no. Besides that, I think it was one of them that initially I was kind of like, but then it grew on me for sure. And that was like who was it? It was towards the end. Okay, like
Is
Pretty
it Me
Boy.
and the Devil? Oh, Pretty Boy. You don't like Pretty Boy?
No. Okay, well, Pretty Boy is kind of like it's whatever. It doesn't really like excite me. It's kind of like to me, it felt like a filler, so to speak. Honestly, for me, it just really didn't stand out. And I, other than Lil Yachty and I don't know what Joji, it's this is one of those forgettable songs to me. But since you brought up Gil or Gil, is it Gil Scott or Gil?
I assume. I don't know. I assumed Gil, but it could be Gil.
Okay. Well, that'd be weird for a guy named Joe, but then again, there was guys named Ashley back in the day too. So, but that one, Me and the Devil, that was a song I actually liked a lot. I really dug it.
Just for me, like initially, the first like I don't know 2 listens through, I like the musical side of the song, and I like the lyrics themselves, but just like his quality of singing, like I didn't necessarily gel with at first. But then like I did a little bit of research on him and like found out like he's like apparently like an historic figure within the blues community, and like that definitely like kind of shifted my perspective a little bit on him, and definitely like lent a new appreciation to the song with his background as like a spoken word poet, jazz blues musician, or a bluesologist, I think is what I read he called himself, as someone who like studied the science of blues music. So that definitely, like the last several listens to the playlist, I definitely enjoyed that song a lot more than the first couple, I will say.
All that 1000%, but there's something else about this song that just tickles my music ear and gives me so much joy.
What's that?
Okay. Do you remember on my weird Terrio playlist, I'm not sure if it was the first one or the second one, that I had a Bobby Womack song featuring Fatima whatever.
Yes.
Fatima Mali. Okay.
Yeah.
So of course, you know, Bobby Womack, legendary old school blues singer as well. He, Gil, I guess, or we'll call him Gil. He was also signed to the same record label as Bobby Womack when he released this song, when this song came out on XL Recordings. XL Recordings is also the label that the Gorillaz are on, and this song was produced by Damon Albarn from the Gorillaz. So that's why I appreciate, because like that's what he does. He'll take an old, like older or a veteran artist and put him on this weird, eclectic, like abstract ass kind of beat. So I'm like, I heard the texture of his voice. I was like, this is not a young singer. This is somebody who's been in the game for a very long
this
time.
is actually, this album came out a year before he passed away. It came out in 2010 and he passed away in 2011.
Exactly.
He was definitely an older man. He was born in like 46 or 47.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. And unfortunately, the same thing happened with Bobby Womack, because Bobby Womack did an album with David Albarn as well through XL Recordings, and he passed shortly after that as well. So, but I do appreciate these veteran artists stepping outside of their comfort zone, going into a weird, eclectic, electronic-based genre and still maintaining their timbre, their voice, and not losing their essence, but just adding to that. And then when I first heard the song, it automatically, my ear was like, this feels like kind of like that Bobby Womack sound. And I looked up the album to see when this came out, because I was trying to see if this guy's still living or if he's still with us or if he's moved on. And I put up the album and I saw XL Recordings. I was like, this can't be. And I looked at the credits. I was like, I knew it. So that's why for me, it just tickled that fancy of giving me that weird music gumbo that I personally appreciate. So thank you, Jamie, for putting me on to Gil, because I wasn't familiar with Gil's music like that, past or this album. But this album is definitely on my list of albums to go back and listen to, because if it's anything like that Bobby Womack album that was just sonically weird as hell for a Bobby Womack, a blues singer to be singing on some weird stuff. Like even if you go to the Gorillaz Plastic Beach album, like there's a song that has like Mos Def and Bobby Womack on the weird electronic bass beat, and it works. I think it's called Stylo or Stilo, something like that. Mm-hmm. And it just is so like weird, but it fits so perfectly. And he delivers that raspy soul. It just like that's the kind of music me personally I want from my artists too. You can maintain who you are, the essence of your sound, and it can just go with other things without just kind of bleeding over into everything. But yeah, so to me, this was the standout song that Jamie put me out for sure.
Okay. So definitely the kind of the opposite of that's one of your highlights for sure.
That's fully my highlight on that one. But since you brought him up, I figured it was a great opportunity to go ahead and talk about that. But yeah. Overall, like I said, I just the only low-ish, the lower, I won't say fully low, but like the lowest of the low was Oh Me and the Bobby. Not Bobby, what's his name? Tommy Richman songs just kind of they just perplexed me. But everybody else is pretty cool. Another one that I thought was pretty dope, what you brought him up earlier, which I knew nothing of this person, and also now I'm super intrigued by Mr. Carpetman, because I'm just like, who?
Yeah,
like this,
a
like
Ukrainian artist,
yes,
who has cultivated a sense of anonymity with his persona. He wears like a carpet mask and has not released his real name, and it just has really let the music speak for itself. And he's had several songs that are like pretty big, like Feel So Cold, 54 million, You Will Never Know It, 34 million, Make It Lower, 19 million, 27 million. Like he has several songs that are like tens of millions of songs or listens.
So speaking of like numbers of listens, this playlist, again, for people like us, you and I, Brandon, who are literally doing a music podcast about music discovery and, you know, sharing music with each other. The fact being that you and I didn't know majority of these songs. And then we go back and we just look it up. Oh, there's 54 other million people knew about this song before we did.
Right?
And I'm just like, that. I was like, holy crap. So like a lot of the songs that Jamie put us on this playlist is like hella popular. And I'm just like, where the hell have I been? So now I'm like, okay. It just like, again, this is the part of doing this podcast and just loving music that really really kind of was an eye opener for me overall. Was just like, God dang, I thought I was in the know. I've been studying and catching up or trying to, siphon off like what's here, what's there, and just looking at some of these songs on this playlist, I'm just like, what?
I definitely realized through this playlist that we've kind of been like, as much as we try to branch out and expand our musical knowledge and our listening experiences, we still are subjected to the algorithm, and we are still inadvertently somewhat trapped in our bubble. And I definitely think we've done better than probably your average person as far as like breaking out here and there and like kind of popping through the bubble of that and finding weird, not typical songs for us and like really enjoying them and loving them. But at the end of the day, the bulk of what we listen to is still definitely going to be like heavily algorithm, same style and sound. As much as we hate it, like that's just the state of music today.
Absolutely.
So it was definitely an eye opener for me. That exact point you just brought up about like, all these songs that I had never heard of from artists I never heard of that have like tens, sometimes hundreds of millions of views, and I'm like, thinking like, I'm thinking like, oh man, he really put a deep cut on, and then I'll go and look at it. I'm like, oh, this has 200 million views. Never mind.
Exactly.
This is a deep cut to no one but me.
But me, like we've been under a music rock, proverbially speaking. But yeah, Carpetman, like his voice is amazing. And when I Google the name Carpetman, just kind of cracked me up. And then I Google who this person was, and then it came up, and I was like, oh, okay, that's okay. The name fits, the carpet matched the drapes, I guess. But maybe we don't know. It's he's anonymous. But yeah, like I just found I'm super intrigued, and that's a trend that I'm noticing a lot more artists are doing. At first, it was kind of like a one-off thing, like a CEO or whoever that would kind of just do that. That'd be their thing for a little bit. But I'm noticing a lot more artists are like, let's just focus on the music. Don't worry about what I look like or how I look like. I mean, yes, some of it's gimmicky for sure, but at the end of the day, I appreciate them, like artists, just just focus on music. Don't worry about how I look.
Just the focus on the music, especially when it's like this quality.
Yes,
is really great.
Absolutely. Carpetman was another standout vocally. Another song on this playlist that stood out for me. And again, this is just me with my, I guess it's bias or just assumption. But Mr. David Kushner.
Yep.
That voice does not sound like that picture on that album cover. Coming out of there. I was like, what the hell? Like, God damn, this motherfucker's singing. Like if we had to do like a powerhouse male vocals again, he's on that playlist. Because I was like this little scrawny guy, I was not expecting that kind of deep voice coming through there. Like that was really like shocking.
He's one of the younger artists on this playlist. He's only 25 years old as of recording this.
What? That's crazy.
Which also surprised me because I was thinking like this was definitely like gonna be like a full grown like late 30s, early 40s like man that has had years to hone this voice. But no, it's just a younger guy who kind of taught himself how to sing and play guitar out of high school, and this was one of his like kind of big single hits that kind of blew up. I haven't really looked at for pretty much all of these artists that I wasn't familiar with. I haven't really looked up like the rest of their discography and what else they've done for the most part. But I also love Daylight. Like Daylight is one of my highlights as well, so I'm really happy you pointed that out because it is such just the singing is great, the instrumentation is like it does its job, but it's like the lyrics themselves is like very emotionally charged with the singing. Very good, deeper meaning. It's really good.
It blew my mind, and then I'm just like, oh, this guy's a new artist. Go to Spotify. Oh yeah, this only has like 1 million, like 1.8 million views. I'm like, where the hell have I been? Like, it really just blew my mind. And then just the caliber of the voice and just all of that. So I'm like, okay, I really gotta.
I mean, Daylight's getting close to 1 billion plays on YouTube alone. So like,
it's
over 100 million.
Damn, that's crazy. So yeah,
and I've never heard of them.
Yeah, me neither.
Just to reiterate that point.
I'm like so perplexed by all of this, and I'm just like, okay, so yeah, thank you, Jamie, again for putting me on game when it came to this song. That was between Me and the Devil and Daylight. Those are my top 2 picks out of the whole playlist. Did you have any other one before I go on to the other one that was like a very close another one for me?
So actually, one of the Spanish speaking songs at the front, Marlboro Rojo, which is Marlboro Red, which looking up the lyrics to that song is like kind of dumb. It seems just like a typical like kind of party, flash my nice car, and I got guns, and I'm craving a Marlboro, Marlboro Red. I'm craving a cigarette. Like that's basically the bulk of the song, according to the translation I read. But like the instrumentation of that song, because I was hearing it, and I was wondering, as someone who has like kind of personal experience and just like family experience and everything with guitar playing, I was wondering if he had the guitarist in that had like, it kind of sounded like he had a bit of a nylon string guitar that he was playing, which he may have. If for anyone who knows guitars, that has like a very specific kind of flamenco-esque type kind of sound. But also the lead guitarist for Fuerza, Regida, probably butchering that, but for that band, according to Wikipedia at least, plays a 12-string guitar, which is basically like it's a double for each string that you have like tuned to it goes like E, A, D, G, B.
Yeah, doesn't it scale?
Okay, yeah. Like for each of those, you basically have like 2 strings that each play that have that same tone, and it just gives it like that kind of the doubling effect of that. Just it gives it a certain tone if you have a 12-string guitar, and it's also slightly harder to play because you're having to press 2 strings for each of those. But it's just that part of it like really drew me in, and I really enjoy just the instrumentation of that song in particular.
I totally agree. I wasn't keen on the actual like guitar part of it, but I like the vibe of the song. And I researched them as well briefly because I was curious. I was like, okay, it definitely has a more like Mexican vibe, but like I wasn't sure they were that. And apparently they're,
like I said, it has that kind of flamenco-esque almost sound at parts.
Yeah, but they are based in the U.S.
California.
Yep. And I found out in my little brief research that they actually started out as a cover band, then eventually started making their own music. So I was like, oh, okay, it kind of makes sense because it definitely, well, I'm not gonna go that far, but okay, fuck it, I'll say it. I definitely was thinking like Taco Tuesday when I was like hearing this song. Wow. And I know, and I don't mean any. I know this sounds terrible, but that's the vibe I was getting from. I was like, damn, I want a margarita.
It's definitely, I mean, obviously they're speaking, they're singing in Spanish in the song, but it's definitely the most Spanish sounding song of the 3 like Spanish sung tracks on this playlist. I think that's the most Spanish sounding to me. Maybe that's just because I've also I've heard a little bit more Spanish music.
Fair. Okay. I guess that's more okay. Yeah, this song definitely sounds more stereotypical. Spanish,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Spanish mariachi band kind of style or whatever. But yeah, the other one, the one towards the end, "To See Me by Dread Mi," I guess.
He's Argentinian.
Yes, exactly.
And so it's got a little bit different feel to it. I feel because it's got a lot more, which is one song that when I was asking Jamie like kind of what the inspiration for this playlist and everything was, that was one song he pointed out in particular. It's like you definitely hear the Latin vibe and the Spanish influence and everything, right? But then it's mixed with such that clear reggae beat and influence, and just like the merging of that was like something that to him like really tickled his ear, and kind of like I was saying like at the top of the episode, like his love, kind of like us, of like of finding music that kind of blends stuff together, like that part of the song tickled him.
Yes.
It was also this To Send Me was also a standout for me as well for those reasons.
Absolutely. And it definitely perplexed me as well when I was just like, hold on, is this reggae or is it Spanish?
It's perplexing, yeah.
But I freaking I love
English
it.
American ears. It's new and kind of weird at first, but like in the best way, right?
Absolutely. And I'm just like, okay, this is definitely something different. And at first I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about this. I guess this is okay. Oh, let's say what? 641 million people have already heard this song.
Which is also apparently during my little bit of research on him and this song, like he's like one of Argentina's like biggest stars music wise. So like I don't know how much of those views are from like American listeners. So hopefully, again, like I said at the very beginning in the intro, like it's still like new to a lot of our listeners of the podcast.
For sure.
I feel like most of those 600 million or whatever are from South America.
I mean,
I could be totally wrong in that.
but also to be fair, like this song is like, this song was like 16 years old.
Is it?
So,
I didn't even look at when it came out. Oh yeah, it came out 2010. That's a good point.
Yeah. So in addition to it having, I would say, obviously international appeal at this point, if we're listening to it, but even like, I don't know, like this, damn it, Jamie. So this, like listening to this playlist, like just really reminded me how big and how small the world is, and like how music can penetrate so many different things in different cultures, but also maintain its originality. Like again, like this is one of the songs to me. It don't have that trap sound or whatever, but it fuses two other things. Like you want to really think of a lot of the reggae influence or Argentinian influence, and then even like if you just want to judge a book by its cover, you look at them, you be like, oh, okay, this is like a reggae song, and then you listen to the, you got the dreads and everything too at the time, and then I'm just like, okay, so you're listening to this, you see a dude with dreads, and then you start speaking Spanish. You're like, hold on, what?
Pose you for a loop if you're not ready, for sure.
Just for sure. So it's just, it just negates all assumptions, and that's what I love about these songs and some of these other just music in general. Anybody can do anything. If it sounds good, I'm down for it. If you put out some ass, I'm gonna call you out, Tommy. But anyway.
Well, do you have any other song? I have just like one song I want to briefly touch on, and then two more that I really want to highlight. So I don't know if you have any others that you want to kind of really dive into before we.
I mean, I can, or if you want me to shut up for a little bit, you can go ahead, go for a little bit.
No, we can. What you got? Okay.
Well,
maybe it'll be one of mine. Who knows?
I mean, possibly, but I just got to say right out the gate, go fuck yourself. GFY by Dennis
That was
Lloyd.
one of mine. So yes. that was one of the ones I wanted to talk about.
I knew it. I felt it in my spirit. That was one of the ones that really, again, because I guess it may be your fault, or it was Jamie's fault initially, but it's probably your fault for organizing the playlist. But like, I'm on such a high from Daylight. And did we go?
I did not touch. After that? I told him to organize the playlist how he thought was best, and I didn't. Okay. I didn't mess with that layout at all. Okay. So this was all Jamie as far as like what songs are in what order on this.
Okay.
I don't know Jamie, how much intention he put into it. I don't know. He could have. The only thing I know is Doomed was kind of slapped at the very end. Outside of that, I don't know how much intention went into it, but there's definitely a few moments where I felt like was like, you did this on purpose.
Nice. But yeah, this one was, I mean, it's just one of those songs that just like hits you. Like everybody has gone through it at some point or another. Just, like when you try to be as PC and like as like rational, but every now and then you're just like, nah, go fuck yourself. Like I can't do this. Like every time I think about this shit, nah, the matter I get about it. So it's
very weird because like the lyrics he's singing are everything you're talking about, but then it has that clip from some TEDx talk that I looked up who it was and everything. It's on if you look up the Genius lyrics for this, it tells you about it. But it's like a TEDx talk where a guy's talking about how like the relations is what, like whenever you're laying on your deathbed and you're looking back on your life, you're not going to think about what phone you didn't have and what, all these things you may have wanted it didn't have or did have. It's going to be like, what relations did you have? How did you connect with people? How did you fail to connect with people? Those are going to be your regrets. Those are going to be your triumphs. And like that speech is like a very powerful thing.
1000%.
And it's just like, it definitely is like juxtaposed with like go fuck yourself. Like, nature of the song.
I totally disagree with that. Disagree with that. No, that to me was like the icing on the cake. Like that was the bow on the
like
brandy
it connects
part.
and like relates to it. Definitely. I'm not saying it doesn't relate or it's like incongruent in any way. Like it definitely fits and adds to it 100%. But it's just like I don't know. It's just like, again, that juxtaposition of it, of like focusing on. Like, cause I don't know. I've heard that full TEDx talk. I don't know, but it sounds like that's kind of more of like a positive, like trying to be like inspiring and like tell people that they need to go out and focus on connections. And then the song is like basically
Go
like I'm cutting you off. Which is like it relates again. It is fitting in a way, but it's just like it's kind of like it's coming at it from this like it brings a twist to it that I don't know. I enjoyed his implementation of that.
Okay, I totally agree with you on that part. But to me, I agree with you. It's like the message was the same. The execution was a choice, I guess, the best way to put it. But yeah, but for me as a person who listens to like those kind of motivational TED Talks every now and then, when that came on, I was just like, okay, you know, that it resonated with me. But also as a person who listens to a lot of those kind of different talks, and I have this song also relate to that. It just basically just sums up the whole thing. It just, you got to take care of yourself and protect your peace and protect your happiness. And somebody got to go fuck themselves, go fuck off. Like you're making me stressed out. And then just like how you said it, like the TED Talk at the end, it's like, yeah, when you're on your deathbed, you have all these regrets. You're not worried about all this other shit that, you know, you compromise with or the material stuff. You want your peace, you want your happiness. And like every time I think about it, you know, that to me, it's just like one of those things where it just kind of just, to me, that was.
It definitely helped me like contextualize the song on a deeper level. Because like first listen through, like up to that point, I was just like, okay, I'm kind of listening to the lyrics, and it somewhat sounds like, you know, maybe it could be like a breakup song or like something similar to that, right? And I guess in a sense it still is, but yeah, that just definitely adds like another layer of complexity and depth to it.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, doesn't crying out loud have a similar kind of thing with the TED Talk or some kind of verbiage or something in there? If I'm not mistaken, like somebody talking about something.
Don't think so.
I feel like it was another song. It was two songs I had like somebody kind of talking. Yeah, it is crying out loud in the beginning. The beginning of crying out loud.
Okay, at the very beginning,
yeah. So yeah. So to me, like those kind of things, I enjoy that a lot when people like insert clips, or you know, J. Cole does that a lot. You know, like I like when people take, you know, excerpts from other media and incorporate them into their music.
It's another aspect of the craft.
Yes,
love to see it.
Definitely, yeah. But yeah, crying out loud. That's another good one in that same vein. But yeah, go fuck yourself. That's another one. That was that kind of, it got edged out by Gil and David. But yeah, that's another one of the ones that's definitely.
Well, I just want to say, crying out loud, just briefly since you brought it up, came out in 2021. I think Suicide was like 16 or 17 at that point. Like when I looked up, he's young. I think he's only like 21 or 22 now or something. And like he's still like in his early 20s. So he's been making music since he was like late teens, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like 99% sure I'm not confusing him with someone else that I looked up on this playlist. But yeah, so that's just wanted to highlight that, like, because I also dug that song a lot, Crying Out Loud. And you know, you love to see when someone is like kind of young and finding success and having like a very specific voice in their art like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, I part of me is just like, I'm happy, but I'm also mad. I'm just like, I'm glad I was born in the era that I was born in, but at the same time, I was like, ooh, if I had these tools and these gadgets during my time, oh my God. I'm so envious. Like, y'all don't understand. Like, I come from the cassette tape era where you have to hold up the cassette recorder to the microphone, like, to the speaker to try to get a copy of it, to sample and all this. Like, this is like now, like these young kids can just put stuff out like so quick and so efficiently, and then have the quality. And like that's the thing that, I mean, it's a whole other topic, but yeah, just the access to make it and the access to release stuff now, and all these talented people finally have a good chance to pursue their dreams and produce quality work at any age. And for Suicide, now granted, the name, you know, I appreciate the spelling, but then once I said it out loud, I was like, okay,
yeah, it's like, okay, that was a choice, I guess.
Yeah, that was a choice. I'm like, you know, you're young and angsty, so yeah, you know, the world is big and scary. So hopefully he will develop into another. continue to grow. But yeah, that was one of the songs that definitely stood out for me for that the implementation.
Yeah,
for sure.
he hasn't had any albums since 2022, but he does have a single. I've not listened to it. That just came out this year, Valentine's Day, and he had a couple singles last year.
Yeah.
Came out 2025. So I've not went back again and like listened to those, but I'm interested to see what he comes out with next. That's one I'll kind of be keeping my eye on as a kind of younger upcoming artist.
Yeah,
See how he grows.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so one song I want to just kind of briefly go over was just the last Spanish song that we haven't really touched on, El Farsante by Ozuna.
Ozuna, yes.
That song was, for me, was like another kind of 7 out of 10, kind of like R&B-esque Spanish song. I was like, okay, I definitely feel the vibe in this. It's nice, whatever. But then like looking at the lyrics, and it's just about like he got caught cheating. It's just like begging his girl to give him another chance, basically, and how she's the only love for him, even though he went out and cheated on her. So it's like, somewhat unoriginal in that. Again, not knowing the actual Spanish, like how it was sung originally, that may, not even may, it almost definitely is like part of me coming to it with that perspective. But that it kind of just like, I don't know, cheapened it a little bit. Like I was hoping for something a little bit more novel, but that's also, kind of, that's on me for coming in with some bias and whatnot. I can admit that.
Okay, so
he's Puerto Rican, by the way. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't want to point that out. Ozuna is Puerto Rican.
Yes, he's Puerto Rican, and the little research I did on him, he basically, I think that he has a song with Cardi B that kind of like made him like in the top 100 of Billboard charts and all that stuff. Another thing that I found out about him was that he doesn't use profanity in his lyrics, out of respect for his daughter. So so he like when he does his performs his music, whatever he does that in mind. Very Will Smith-ish when it comes to that kind of thing. So I was like, okay, that's that's admirable. And then apparently he writes songs that are about uplifting and trying to overcome objections and stuff like that in life and all that good stuff. This song, followed by the Russian song, was the catalyst for my rant in the beginning of this episode. As far as like taking that sound, because like he's talented, but then I can easily hear Chris Brown on this record.
Which Chris Brown, Usher, there was someone else that like whenever I was like looking him up briefly, like he had mentioned somewhere that those were like some of his biggest influences whenever he was growing up. Like that was what his mom mostly played, was like kind of R&B of that ilk, right? So it definitely like he is in that same vein 100%.
Exactly. So, and that's where, again, because I saw the Spanish title and, and I felt like I had a Ozuna song by then, but I think I was mixing up Ozuna and Odessa from EDM in my head for some reason. But yeah, so when that came on, I was like, vastly different. But when the song came out, I was like, okay, this is, a Spanish song. And then I'm hearing it, I'm just like, yeah, they just took, another just whatever song.
It's another, like I said, 6 or 7 out of 10 for me. Like it's not, I have really no complaints about it. It's just like doesn't really have much.
It doesn't spark. It doesn't spark for me other than like the whatever instrument, like a Celesta, whatever in the beginning with the xylophone-esque kind of sounding in the beginning of the song. Like my music ear, I kind of like that because it kind of it's sweet. It has that build up or whatever, and I do appreciate his talent. Because he is like a legit singer. Unlike Tommy.
Yeah.
But so I appreciate the effort and the song itself. The song itself is of quality. It's just for me, I'm just like, it wasn't nothing revolutionary. So like, you give it a 7, I really give it like a 4.5 to like a 5 because it just was is mid, like hella mid.
It's pretty mid for me. I think I might be being generous by giving it a 7. Probably a 5 or 6 if I'm being completely honest. But I was trying not to be too harsh. But it's very mid. It's just it's not really memorable. It is vibey like the rest of the playlists. I'll give it that. Yeah. But like
the beat got me. The beat was there, and then I just hear him singing on it, and it was like, okay. Then I kind of.
But there's so many also like better songs on the playlist. I feel like that it is 100% overshadowed by 1,000%. The rest of the songs. So
yeah.
So I really only have one more song that I really want to dive into. I don't know if there's any other you want to hit. That's the last song, "Doomed" by Maphra.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the ability, and we've said this multiple times on the podcast, but the ability to go from like full throat screaming on like a hard rock metal-esque song to smoothly transitioning into like normal singing, and especially with like some of the high notes. Like, granted, her like normal singing, non-screaming parts of the song, it's not like Adele level, but also Adele doesn't scream like Maphra does on this song.
Oh my
so like
God.
that, the transition back and forth constantly is what it's like. It's so enticing to listen to for me, and it's
bro. Pause for a second. Could you imagine that though? Like a screamo version, like Adele. Hello from the other side. Like that, man. That would go so freaking hard.
It would go pretty hard.
That would be amazing. Yeah. Once you put me on the transparency. So Brandon had sent me the song, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I was, busy at the time, and then you asked me about it, and then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to it. You really I got the most disappointing text. I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to it. And I listened to it, and all I could respond was like, oh my God. And he was like, bro, they're doing dissertations on this song, like her skill and breaking it down, and like they are breaking down her voice and like literally like doing a full on Little Mermaid Ariel, taking her voice out of her and like studying it and researching it, like, and I'm listening to the song, and I listened to it a couple times after that, and again, like when it comes to a lot of the screamo songs, like I'm gonna use the lead singer from Periphery for example. Like he does all the screaming and the soulful singing, but usually it's like, okay, you got the screamo track and then you got the singing track, and then like it's kind of layered. No, I don't know how she recorded it, but from way
you can watch her sing it live if you go to her YouTube, like her, like not YouTube Music, but like her YouTube. There's videos of her singing this song and other songs, like her in front of the mic live singing it. And so that I meant to send that to you because that definitely adds an element of, like you were just saying, like definitely seeing her mid song transition from that like super hardcore screaming vocal fry out the ass all the way back into the high notes, and then back down into the screaming, back into the high notes. It is chilling to me.
Exactly. And the recording reflects that, so I'm glad you confirmed that for sure. But yeah, like that's what really like fully perplexes me. Like even going back to what's the name, R.I.P. Chester Bennington, he will scream, but again, then he'll bring it back down to his normal voice. But the way she goes back and forth, like, and then the recording definitely, I guess matches the live version, which again is super rare because studio records and live records a lot of times do not be the same, or live performances versus the studio version. The way these artists sound, but yeah, that really, she deserves all the praise, and I'm looking forward to more stuff coming from her.
And she has like, I just want to point out, this is a Bring Me the Horizon cover song, and all of the songs, she has like 6 or 7 or somewhere around there videos on YouTube of her singing other, like all the songs she has on her like YouTube is her singing cover songs. She only has this and Lovely Reimagined, which is also a cover of someone that I can't think of at the moment. But she hasn't come out with anything of her own, and she's kind of just really blown up, like you were saying recently, because there was a plethora of like vocal coaches and vocal trainers and people kind of in that vein that were going on YouTube and making like 20-30 minute long videos, like just discussing how mind blown they were, her ability to transition between the different screaming and the different notes of singing and everything. So I am just like super hyped. One, that she's like getting a little bit of success and like notoriety with these covers, and I'm really hoping that leads her to have the means to make a full album of like original music. And I'm just super excited. I'm so excited. This is definitely like more than anyone else on this playlist. This is one that I'm going to be keeping my ear out for whatever upcoming project she has.
Absolutely. And then also I love her along with Carpetman still somewhat maintaining some level of, well, at least aesthetically on the cover, like some level of anonymity, as I try to pronounce that word. But I do appreciate that, that artistry of that all, of that. So yeah.
And I just want to say, like, and whenever Jamie had first sent me this song several weeks before we finalized this playlist and everything, and I was sharing it with you and everything, I did kind of look it up because I honestly at first assumed, I was like, this has got to be like AI somehow. And like a lot of people were online were saying the same, like, oh, this sounds like it's too good, like it's got to be AI or AI enhanced somehow. But no, literally, you can go back and like her Instagram and her TikTok has songs that's like pre-COVID. Or not songs, but like clips and stuff like pre-COVID. So like she's a real life musical artist that is not an AI amalgamation of different singers that's slapped together and then Frankenstein into this. Like she's a real person, a real singer, a real artist that is really this talented. And that is like, again, in today's day and age, at some point we're gonna make an episode about the horrors of AI music today and all the traps of that. Definitely for sure down the pipeline. But yeah, just because that was just immediately whenever I first heard it, kind of, because it was so good, I kind of made the wrong assumption, like a lot of other people, that there's no way a human lady could do this type of stuff. And then I was
full-on human lady.
A full-on human lady. I was proven wrong, and again, I'm super hyped for what she's got coming next.
But yeah, overall, Jamie, I was very, 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 I don't know, just not perplexed, but more, I guess, I mean, basically my mind got blown a little bit. So I appreciate you taking the time to submit these songs for us to listen to. For me personally, like I said, I only knew 2 of the artists on the playlist, excluding Maphra because Brandon put me on. But yeah, it just like I said earlier, the fact that these songs were new to me and the rest of the world has been rocking into these songs for years really made me realize I might need to kind of just try my best to avoid the algorithm or just click a little bit deeper and try to find the songs that I'm not listening to kind of feel like I'm part of the rest of the world, because these are some good songs, man. So thank you for doing that for us. But if you feel differently and you want to, give Jamie his flowers or disagree with or agree with Brandon and I, feel free to do so. You can do that by going to afterplaylist.com, by sharing our social media links, previous episodes, and previous playlists. Like and share this episode as well as this music playlist. It's totally free and it also supports the show. If you want to do a little bit more, you can join our Black Giraffe community over at blackgiraffenathan.com, or you can go to patreon.com/blackgiraffe to support us there. We are doing our best. It's just Brandon and I. Y'all don't understand.
It's a struggle sometimes.
It is.
Our love for music is the only thing keeping us going.
Honestly, that's pretty much it. The way this world is set up, and both of us having 2 other full-time jobs, and life be lifing. But yeah, if you can help us, over there on Patreon, help us keep the music streaming, or just throw a few words of encouragement over there, that'd be great. But either way, however you want to do it, either way, it's all love. But feel free to do all the things. Got anything else, Brandon? I don't lost my steam.
No, feel free to do all the things. That about sums it up.
Perfect.
Please do all the things. Much
all
appreciated. Right. Mucho apreciaso.
Mucho apreciaso.
It's probably not Spanish. I'm not gonna lie.
It's definitely not Spanish, and I was gonna try to do a Russian thing.
Mucho is, but like
appreciation. Yeah,
sorry.
Also, if we offended you, feel free to comment, because I'm quite sure you might have said some things in despair. Oh, and lastly, if you would like to contribute or submit a playlist to us, feel free to leave us a comment on either Black Giraffe Made This, aka patreon.com/blackgiraffe, or on our social medias. We may not be able to respond immediately, but once we do see it, we'll definitely archive it, and you may be featured in a later episode.
Yes, we're again all about music discovery and music that you can feel, and kind of combining those things. So
absolutely,
please broaden our horizons. We are here for that 1,000%.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep on discovering and keep on listening.
Keep on listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Black Giraffe made this.
Boom, boom, boom. Black Giraffe discovered this.